How much money do you need to live in Dominican Republic? That is what everyone wants to know. Some people have commented that they need at least $5,000 a month. There was even a guy who said he needs at least $300,000 a year. And someone else said that there just isn't a way to make a decent living in Dominican Republic. But are these statements true? In this video, I'm going to share the fixed monthly expenses of real families that I personally know in 5 different cities. This video is going to be packed with information and inspiration. But before we dive in, I feel the need to clarify a few things. Number 1, the way you vacation, it's not the way you're going to live. If you can, then good for you. But most of the times we go all out on vacation and our day-to-day is a little bit more modest. Number 2, affordability, it's subjective. And the cost of living varies a lot depending on where you live and the lifestyle that you're looking to have. Number 3, please do not venture to DR or any other country if you haven't established yourself first where you are now. I see so many people investing into properties in Dominican Republic and then end up in a very tough position to pay their mortgage. Please educate yourself and seek professional guidance so that you can make the best decisions that align with your goals. Number 4, there are many different ways for you to make the move, and this can be one or a combination of the following scenarios. Having recurring income from a job, whether it is based in the US and you do remotely, or if you get a job in the Dominican Republic, having rental income from a property or properties in the US or within the Dominican Republic. I was having a conversation with someone who said they already have 3 investment properties in DR and plan to acquire more so they can eventually live off that income. We personally decided to rent our home and we hope to eventually invest into something in the country. But for now, we are going to be living in the properties that our parents have owned for many, many years and have not had the opportunity to enjoy yet. Having business income, whether it's a business that you already have established or one that you will be starting. I personally will be freelancing as a marketing consultant, which I have done for the past about 5 years. And the last 2 options are to project your monthly or yearly expenses and either save enough for the time that you plan to be there or to pay for services ahead of time. For example, I paid for our health insurance for half of the year. Number 5, and lastly, ask yourself, what do you really want? Don't let comparison trick you into working towards something that you really don't want. Be honest with yourself and work towards the things that your heart desires, no matter what everybody else is doing. All right, let's dive into the numbers. The first family we are going to look at has the highest monthly expenses, and this is because of where they live, which is Punta Cana. So they are a family of 4, and as you can see, their monthly expenses average to about $2,500 just for their basics. I do want to point out that their rent includes water and gas, and their groceries is a little bit more expensive because they have an infant who requires formula, so they're spending a lot of money on that. But you'll see in comparison to the other cities, everything in Punta Cana, it's a little bit pricier because of all the amenities that this city comes with. For example, they pay a high price for electricity, but there's always electricity. It never goes out. And what they do for a living is that they are realtors. They were not always realtors and they did not always live in Punta Cana. They are both native Dominicans, have always lived in the DR their whole life. And they moved a couple of years ago to Punta Cana to venture as realtors, and they have been very successful. And he even pointed out that there are times where you can make in commission the expenses to cover you for the whole year. And one thing to note about DR is that anyone can be a realtor. So this is an opportunity for you to explore that market as well if you want to get into real estate. But also, because anyone can be a realtor, be very careful with who you do business with. The second family is a single mom with her adult son, and they live in Santo Domingo. As you can see, the monthly expenses average to about $1,300. And for us, we will also be living in Santo Domingo, and I have projected that our expenses will be around $1,800. And with the difference from this one that you're looking at is that we will not be having a car to begin with. The mom actually was born and raised in the US, but decided very early on, once she became an adult, that she wanted to live in the Dominican Republic. So she moved and went to college there, and she now works as a psychologist, and she also does sales in the side. And if you haven't noticed, we are going to be covering different cities from west to east of the island. So neighboring Santo Domingo is a city called Altagracia, and
things here are a little bit more affordable. So as you can see, this is also a family of 4, and their monthly expenses average to about $837. They do not have a car. They rent an apartment, and something to note is that they also have a domestic worker. This is your average working family. The wife works at a bank, and the husband, I'm actually not sure what he does. Another major city of the Dominican Republic is Santiago, and this is a family of 5 consisting of 2 adults, 2 young adults, and 1 kid. Their monthly expenses average to almost $1,700, and they own their house and also their car. So as you can see, they are paying for private school. One of the highest ticket items is their health insurance every month, and one thing about health insurance is that the price is going to vary on the coverage that you choose. This is your average working professional family, and they have lived in the Dominican Republic their whole life. The husband is in sales and the wife works at a dealership. And last but not least, this is a small town in the province of Valverde, which is in the northeast of the country. This is a family of 4. As you can see, their expenses are very similar to the family from Santiago, averaging at almost $1,700, with the difference that they have 3 domestic workers who are there full-time. So again, when you go to smaller towns, you are going to be able to do a little bit more with your money. The husband has spent many years living in the United States and decided that they wanted to move to Dominican Republic, and he moved part of his business operations to Dominican Republic. Is still able to operate his business in the US within the Dominican Republic through Wi-Fi, cell phone, and everything else. And they also have other businesses in the Dominican Republic. In terms of income, the working professional earns an average of $1,500 to $2,000 a month. As you can see, if it's a 2-income household, it's definitely doable. But other people opt to not employ themselves and have their own small businesses, get into real estate, get into sales, and be multifaceted. I see that there is a big culture of entrepreneurship and just freelancing in different ways. You gotta just figure it out and be willing to do a little bit of everything to afford your lifestyle. What do you think of these numbers? Did they surprise you? Were they less or more than you thought, or around the same? Please comment below and let me know.